Hey there, friends. Buckle up because I'm about to take you on a wild ride. A true story that'll make your jaw drop and your heart soar. Picture this. A fancy hotel lobby, all glitz and glamour, where a single moment of courage flips the script on prejudice and power. I'm telling you, this one's a game changer. And it's got me reflecting on life in ways I never expected. Ready? Let's dive in. I've always wondered, how often do we overlook the people who quietly keep the world spinning? You know, the ones who clean the floors, serve the coffee, or smile through tough days without ever getting a spotlight. This story is about one of those unsung heroes, a woman who turned an ugly situation into a moment of pure brilliance. And trust me, it's incredible. So, here's the scene. The Grand Plaza Hotel, a 5-star paradise dripping with luxury. Think marble floors so shiny you can see your reflection, chandeliers sparkling like stars, and a staff trained to make every guest feel like royalty. But on this day, things were anything but royal. The lobby was buzzing with tension, and at the center of it all was Akiko Tanaka, a Japanese millionaire who stood like a queen despite the chaos around her. Her eyes, oh, they were fire, frustration mixed with a quiet strength that screamed, "I'm not here to be disrespected." The problem? Nobody at the front desk could understand her. For over 40 minutes, the reception team was floundering. 3 professional translators, yes, 3, were throwing their hands up in defeat. "She doesn't speak Mandarin, Korean, or Thai," one of them muttered, looking lost. The hotel manager, Sandra Morrison, was pacing like a caged lion, her heels clicking so loudly on the marble floor it echoed like a drumbeat. "This is turning into an international disaster," she snapped, her voice dripping with impatience. "I mean, Frenchman, c'est faux. How could a place this fancy drop the ball so hard?" Now let's zoom in on Sandra. She was the kind of manager who thought her title made her untouchable. You know the type. Arrogant, quick to judge, and way too comfortable throwing her weight around. She was barking orders, rolling her eyes, and making it clear she thought Akiko was the problem. If she can't speak English, she shouldn't be at a world-class American hotel, Sandra huffed, loud enough for everyone to hear. At that moment, I felt my blood boil just imagining it. How do you treat someone like that, especially a guest who's clearly a big deal? And toi churais tu fate à ma place. Would you have stayed quiet or spoken up? Meanwhile, Akiko's assistant was glued to his phone, probably canceling million-dollar deals because of this mess. The stakes were sky-high. Akiko owned one of the biggest tech empires in the world, and her stay at the Grand Plaza was tied to major business negotiations. If she walked out, the hotel's reputation and its bank account would take a nosedive. Sandra didn't seem to care, though. She was too busy ranting. "This woman is making my hotel look like a joke," she shouted, slamming her fist on the counter. Wow, talk about unprofessional. But here's where the story takes a turn. Off to the side, quietly polishing that same marble floor, was Denise Washington. At 32, she'd spent 6 years as a cleaner at the Grand Plaza, blending into the background like she was invisible. And let me tell you, Denise had mastered the art of being unseen. She'd watched countless scenes like this unfold. Rich guests treating staff like dirt, managers like Sandra acting like they owned the world. But today, something was different. I could feel it. There was a spark in Denise's eyes, like she was seeing something nobody else could. I've always wondered, what makes someone decide, enough is enough? For Denise, it was this moment. She stopped scrubbing, set her cleaning cloth down, and straightened up with a kind of calm that gave me chills. It was like she'd been waiting for this exact second her whole life. Sandra, oblivious, kept up her tirade. "We're wasting time on someone who can't even ask for a towel," she scoffed. Oh la la, the nerve. But Denise, she wasn't fazed. She'd seen this kind of arrogance before, and it hit close to home. Let me share something personal here. I've been in situations where people underestimated me, judged me by my job or my appearance, and it stings. Makes you question your worth. Denise knew that feeling all too well. Years ago, she'd been fired from a cleaning job for standing up for a coworker who was mocked for her accent. That memory burned in her chest as she watched Sandra's meltdown. And here's the kicker. Denise wasn't just a cleaner. She was a linguistic genius, fluent in 5 languages, including Japanese, thanks to her time as a volunteer interpreter for humanitarian groups. Can you believe it? This woman was a hidden gem, mopping floors in a place that didn't deserve her. Sandra, still clueless, suggested calling security to escort Akiko out. If she can't communicate, she doesn't belong here, she said with a sneer. That was it. Denise had had enough. She stepped forward, her movements steady but deliberate, like she was walking into battle. "Excuse me," she said softly, looking right at Akiko. The lobby went quiet. Sandra spun around, her face red with fury. "You're interrupting a critical situation. Get back to work," she barked. But Denise didn't flinch. She locked eyes with Akiko and in perfect Japanese with a Kyoto accent said, "Tanaka-san gomen nasai. Kono hodoru no shitsurei o yurashite kudasai. Anata no yoyaku o sugu anai shori dekamasu." The silence that followed, deafening. Akiko blinked, her frustration melting into relief. Then curiosity. "Anata wa nihongo o hanesu no?" she asked, amazed. Denise smiled humbly. "Sukashi dake disu," she replied, downplaying her fluency, though it was clear she was a master. I was floored. A cleaning lady speaking flawless Japanese. "C'est incroyable." Sandra's jaw dropped so low it practically hit the floor. The translators. They looked like they wanted to disappear. And me. I was cheering inside like, "Go, Denise." At that moment I felt so proud of her courage. Denise could have stayed silent, kept her head down, and avoided trouble. But she chose to step up, to use her gifts to help someone being unfairly treated. This story taught me that true strength isn't about titles or power. It's about doing what's right, even when it's risky. And toi churais tu fate on my place. Would you have taken that leap? Akiko, now smiling, asked Denise where she'd learned Japanese. "I studied in Kyoto and fell in love with the culture," Denise replied, her voice warm but confident. Sandra, meanwhile, was having a full-on meltdown. "This can't be happening. You're a cleaner," she sputtered. But Akiko wasn't done. In perfect English. Yep, she'd understood everything. She turned to Sandra and said, "The only scandal here is your behavior." Boom. I couldn't believe it. Akiko had been silent not because she couldn't speak English, but because she was choosing her moment. And now, she was letting Sandra have it. "You've insulted me for 2 hours with your racist, xenophobic remarks," Akiko continued, her voice like ice. "And I've recorded every word." The lobby gasped. Sandra went pale, stammering, That's not legal." But Marcus Johnson, the senior concierge and a total class act, stepped in. "Actually, in public spaces like this, recording is perfectly legal. And our security cameras caught everything." Oh snap. Sandra was done for, and she knew it. I've always wondered, why do some people think they can treat others like they're less? Sandra's arrogance blinded her to the truth. Akiko was no ordinary guest. She was the CEO of Tanaka Technology International, with $12 million in annual contracts tied to American hotels. Plus, she sat on the International Tourism Board, with the power to sink the Grand Plaza's reputation with one bad review. And Denise. She wasn't just a cleaner. She had a degree in linguistics, specialized in Asian cultures, and had spent years helping immigrants as a volunteer interpreter. Talk about hidden talent. Akiko turned to Denise with respect in her eyes. "Ms. Washington, I've looked into your background. Your qualifications are extraordinary. I'd like to offer you a position as coordinator of intercultural relations at my company's American branch. Starting salary, $90,000 plus benefits." The lobby was silent, like the world had stopped spinning. Denise, the invisible cleaner, was being offered a life-changing opportunity because she dared to speak up. I was tearing up. This story taught me that when you stand up for what's right, doors you never imagined can open wide. Sandra, meanwhile, was crumbling. Her phone rang, her boss, no doubt, and she could barely answer. "Yes, Mr. Davidson. I didn't know," she whispered, her voice breaking. Minutes later, she was fired. Her career over. Her reputation shredded. All because she couldn't see past her prejudice. As she gathered her things, the lobby watched in stunned silence. Denise, on the other hand, was just getting started. 6 months later, Denise was thriving. She sat in a sleek office at Tanaka Technology International, leading diversity programs and building bridges between communities. Marcus, who'd left the Grand Plaza to join her team, was her right-hand man. Together, they were unstoppable, even mentoring a young Latina intern who reminded Denise of herself, a hidden gem overlooked by the world. Across town, Sandra was working as a department store clerk. Her name synonymous with the viral scandal that exposed her bigotry. The Grand Plaza. It got a makeover too, with new diversity policies and Akiko as a minority investor, ensuring real change. This story hit me hard. I've always wondered, how many Denises are out there? Their brilliance hidden because nobody bothers to look. This story taught me that our worth isn't tied to how others see us. It's about knowing who we are and refusing to stay silent when it matters. Denise didn't just save the day. She rewrote her future and changed an entire hotel's culture. And Sandra, her downfall wasn't revenge. It was the natural consequence of her actions. Hey friends, I'm back, diving deeper into this incredible story that still got me buzzing with excitement. If you thought Denise Washington's moment of courage in the Grand Plaza Hotel lobby was the peak, oh, you're in for a treat. This tale of triumph, justice, and transformation has so many layers, and I can't wait to peel them back for you. I've always wondered, how does one single act of bravery ripple out to change lives forever? Let's find out together. So, where we left off, Denise had just dropped a bombshell, speaking flawless Japanese to save Akiko Tanaka from a humiliating situation orchestrated by the Grand Plaza's manager, Sandra Morrison. The lobby was frozen, jaws on the floor, and Sandra was spiraling into a panic. But let's rewind a bit, because to really get why this moment was so powerful, we need to understand Denise's journey. Trust me, it's a story within a story, and it's giving me all the feels. Picture Denise 6 years ago, starting her job at the Grand Plaza. She was 26, fresh off a tough break. I've been there. Those moments when life knocks you down and you're just trying to get back on your feet. For Denise, it was losing her job at a cleaning company after standing up for a coworker. She'd called out a supervisor for mocking a Latina colleague's accent. And boom, fired. No warning, no second chances. At that moment, I felt her pain so deeply. Have you ever been punished for doing the right thing? It's like the world's telling you to stay small, but Denise, she wasn't built for that. To make ends meet, she took the cleaning job at the Grand Plaza. It wasn't glamorous. Scrubbing floors, emptying trash cans, dodging rude guests who treated her like she was invisible. But here's the thing. Denise wasn't just a cleaner. She had a degree in linguistics, specialized in Asian cultures, and spoke 5 languages fluently: Japanese, Spanish, French, Mandarin, and English. Can you imagine? She'd spent years volunteering as an interpreter for humanitarian groups, helping immigrants navigate language barriers. I mean, wow. This woman was a superstar, hiding in plain sight. I've always wondered, why do we let the world put us in boxes? Denise could have been bitter, but instead, she poured her heart into learning. She'd spend her evenings studying Japanese culture, practicing kanji, and mastering the Kyoto accent because she loved it. Not for a paycheck, not for clout, just pure passion. That's the kind of fire I admire. And toi churais tu fate à ma place. If you had skills nobody saw, would you keep shining anyway? Back to the lobby. Sandra Morrison was still ranting, oblivious to the storm brewing. This is an American hotel. If she can't speak our language, she shouldn't be here. She snapped, gesturing at Akiko like she was some kind of inconvenience. Akiko stood tall, her fists clenched, clearly understanding more English than Sandra realized. The tension was thick, like a movie scene where you know something big is coming. And Denise. She was watching, her broom still, her heart racing. I could feel it. That moment when you know you can't stay silent anymore. Let's pause for a second. I've been in rooms where arrogance like Sandra's fills the air. It's suffocating, right? You see someone being treated unfairly, and you're torn between staying safe and speaking up. Denise felt that too. She'd spent years swallowing her pride, blending into the background. But this time something snapped. Maybe it was Sandra's cruelty, or maybe it was Akiko's quiet dignity. Whatever it was, Denise decided this was her moment. And franchement c'est faux. How one decision can change everything. She set her cleaning cloth down, slowly, deliberately, like she was shedding years of invisibility. "Excuse me," she said, stepping toward Akiko. Sandra whirled around, her face a mix of shock and rage. "What are you doing? Get back to work," she hissed. But Denise didn't budge. She looked at Akiko and in perfect Japanese said, "Tanaka-san gomen nasai. Kono hodoru no shitsurei o yurashite kudasai. Anata no yoyaku o sugu anai shori dekamasu." Translation: "Ms. Tanaka, I'm sorry for the hotel's rudeness. I can handle your reservation right away." Oh la la, the room went dead silent. Akiko's eyes widened, then softened. "Anata wa nihongo o hanesu no?" she asked, her voice full of wonder. Denise smiled, humble as ever. "Sukashi dake disu," she said, meaning just a little. But her fluency was undeniable. I was screaming inside. This was her moment to shine, and she owned it. Sandra, meanwhile, was unraveling. "This is impossible. You're a cleaning lady," she sputtered, like Denise's talent was an insult to her world order. "Say incroyable, right? How some people can't handle others' brilliance." At that moment I felt so connected to Denise. I've had times when people underestimated me, assuming I couldn't do something because of how they saw me. It hurts, but it also fuels you. Denise wasn't just helping Akiko. She was reclaiming her voice. This story taught me that your worth isn't tied to your job title or how others perceive you. It's about what you know you're capable of, deep down. And toi churais tu fate on my place. Would you have stepped up, knowing it could cost you everything? Akiko, now calm, asked Denise where she'd learned Japanese. "I studied in Kyoto and fell in love with the culture," Denise replied, her voice warm but steady. The translators looked mortified. They'd been outdone by a cleaner. Marcus Johnson, the senior concierge, stepped in, his eyes shining with respect. "Miss Morrison, perhaps we should let Ms. Washington handle this," he said diplomatically. Marcus was a gem, the kind of ally who sees people for who they are. But Sandra, she was too far gone. "This is a scandal," she shrieked, losing all composure. Then came the plot twist. Akiko, in flawless English, turned to Sandra and said, "The only scandal is your behavior. I've understood every word you've said for the past 2 hours. And I've recorded it all." Whoa, the lobby gasped. Sandra's face went from red to white, like she'd seen a ghost. You speak English," she stammered. Akiko's eyes were steel. "Fluently. And I've heard every racist, xenophobic remark you've made." I couldn't believe it. Akiko had been playing chess while Sandra was throwing a tantrum. Marcus chimed in, calm but firm. "Our security cameras recorded everything too. There's no expectation of privacy in a public lobby." Sandra was done. Her career, her reputation, poof, gone. Akiko revealed she was the CEO of Tanaka Technology International, with millions in contracts at stake. She also sat on the International Tourism Board, meaning one word from her could tank the Grand Plaza. Sandra tried to backpedal. It was a misunderstanding, but it was too late. Her phone rang. Boss," she answered, trembling. "Yes, Mr. Davidson. I didn't know." Her voice broke as she realized her world was collapsing. Meanwhile, Akiko turned to Denise with a smile. "Ms. Washington, I've researched your background. You have a linguistics degree, volunteer experience, and fluency in 5 languages. My company needs someone like you. I'm offering you a position as coordinator of intercultural relations, starting at $90,000 a year." The lobby was silent, like time had stopped. Denise, the woman everyone overlooked, was being handed a golden opportunity. I was tearing up. This story taught me that when you stand up for what's right, the universe has a way of rewarding you. 6 months later, Denise was thriving in her new role at Tanaka Technology International. Her office had a killer view, and she was leading diversity programs, mentoring talent, and building bridges between cultures. Marcus joined her team and they were unstoppable. Sandra. She was working retail. Her name a cautionary tale after Akiko's recordings went viral. The Grand Plaza got a cultural overhaul, with Akiko as an investor ensuring lasting change. This story hit me hard. I've always wondered, how many people are out there like Denise, their talents hidden because nobody looks twice? This story taught me that true power comes from knowing your worth and refusing to stay silent. So, friends, let's be like Denise. See the unseen, lift each other up, and shine no matter what. Hit subscribe, share this story, and let's keep spreading hope. Stay amazing. So, friends, what's the lesson here? Be like Denise. See the unseen. Speak up when it's tough. Your voice, your talents, your courage. They matter more than you know. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that their light shines bright, even when the world tries to dim it. Let's keep spreading stories of hope and transformation together. Until next time, stay amazing.